Commanders fans, we've got two battles brewing that could define the 2025 season. One is a surprise breakout that might push a 2024 draft pick off the roster. The other, a comeback story at cornerback that could make or break our Super Bowl dreams. Tap that like button, subscribe to Commanders HQ, and drop your prediction in the comments. Will Colson Yankoff make the roster over Ben Sinnott? And is Marshon Lattimore ready to lock it down again in D.C.? Let's get into it. When Colson Yankoff signed with Washington as an undrafted free agent in 2024, nobody blinked. He was expected to play special teams, hold a clipboard, and maybe catch a pass or two in garbage time. Fast forward to this offseason, and things have changed dramatically. Yankoff has reportedly been one of the biggest surprises in the Commanders' offseason program. Coaches love his athleticism, his blocking, and more importantly, his emerging skill as a pass catcher. Enough so that he's threatening to shake up what once looked like a settled tight end room. That puts second-round pick Ben Sinnott in a tough spot. Let's be honest, Sinnott's rookie season didn't move the needle. Drafted to be the future at tight end, he finished with only 5 receptions for 28 yards and 1 score. While some expected a slow start, the patience may be wearing thin. Zach Ertz is still the TE1, respected, productive, and a key locker room leader. John Bates just got paid and continues to be the team's go-to blocking option. With NFL rosters typically keeping 3 tight ends max, the math isn't great for Sinnott. If Yankoff continues his surge, someone has to go. And right now, that spotlight is squarely on the 2024 draft pick. Head coach Dan Quinn praised Sinnott's work ethic and offseason progress, calling him a hard hat guy who's grinding daily. But he also made it clear, the best players will play. And that means training camp is everything. This battle is no longer about potential. It's about production. If Yankoff continues to flash in the passing game and hold his own as a blocker, he could take Sinnott's roster spot right out under him. Don't be surprised if this is one of the most intense position battles of the summer. Now, let's shift to the other side of the ball. There's no dancing around it. Marshon Lattimore didn't look like himself last year. After arriving via trade, he played in just 5 games and posted a disappointing 40.7 PFF coverage grade. A lingering hamstring injury robbed him of explosiveness. But now, there's hope again. Lattimore looked rejuvenated at mandatory minicamp, fast, confident, and sharp. And as PFF analyst Dalton Wasserman noted, the Commanders are banking on him returning to form to power their 2025 playoff push. This isn't just about pride. It's about job security. Lattimore has no guaranteed money on his contract beyond this season. If he struggles again, GM Adam Peters could move on next spring and save $18.5 million against the cap. That's not a small number. But if Lattimore bounces back, he could be looking at an extension and a shot at redefining his legacy in D.C. Remember, Washington's cornerbacks ranked dead last in PFF coverage in 2024. They need a shutdown presence. If Lattimore brings it, this defense goes from decent to dangerous. Let's dream for a second. Yankoff keeps climbing and becomes a reliable TE3 who can flex out wide and block in line. Sinnott responds to the challenge and forces his way onto the field too. Lattimore returns to all-pro form and leads a cornerback room with Mike Sine-Strill, Trey Amos, and Jonathan Jones. That's the kind of depth championship teams have. That's what Dan Quinn is trying to build. But to get there, it's all about execution. Summer battles, film room grind, and health. Washington made the NFC Championship in 2024, but they won't sneak up on anyone this time. Everyone's watching. When free agency opened, the Commanders wasted no time securing one of their key defensive targets. Former 49ers and Jets defensive tackle Javon Kinlaw was signed to a 3-year, $45 million deal. That's right, $15 million per year for a guy with fewer than 10 career sacks. Critics from across the league lit up the airwaves and headlines. NFL Spin Zone's Lou Scitalia even called it the Commanders' worst contract heading into 2025. He is set to play in his age 28 season, and $15 million per year from the Washington Commanders is just a bit too much money, Scatalia wrote. But is this really the disaster some are making it out to be? Let's not ignore the facts. Kinlaw was once a top pick by San Francisco, drafted in the first round in 2020. But he's battled multiple knee injuries and never truly lived up to his pre-draft billing. Through 5 seasons, he's managed just 9.5 sacks, which doesn't exactly scream elite. So we get it. On paper, $15 million per year for a player with that stat line raises eyebrows. But context matters. What many critics ignore is that 2024 was Kinlaw's most productive NFL season yet. 4.5 sacks, 2 forced fumbles, 17 games started, a career first. He did this while playing a rotational role on a dominant Jets front seven. More importantly, he stayed healthy and flashed the power and quickness that made him a first-rounder. And don't forget, Commanders GM Adam Peters helped draft Kinlaw in San Francisco. He knows the player better than most and believes Dan Quinn's system can unlock him further. Look no further than what Washington did with last year's defensive free agent class. Frankie Louvu turned into a top 15 linebacker. Dante Fowler Jr. led the team in sacks, and Jeremy Chin revitalized his career in a hybrid role. If there's a coaching staff that can extract value from undervalued defenders, it's Dan Quinn and Joe Witt Jr. Kinlaw now joins Daron Payne, Durance Armstrong Jr., and Cleveland Farrell in a retooled front. He won't need to be a superstar, just a disruptive, consistent interior presence. Let's call it like it is. This deal only looks bad if Kinlaw doesn't stay healthy or regresses. But if he delivers another season like 2024, or better, he'll easily justify the price tag, especially with the salary cap rising and mid-tier pass rushers now routinely crossing the $10 to $12 million threshold. In that context, $15 million is a gamble, but not a wild one. And considering the Commanders let veteran Jonathan Allen go, this wasn't just a luxury signing. It was a move to maintain trench toughness and keep pressure off their elite linebacker core. The 2025 Commanders aren't rebuilding. They're reloading for a Super Bowl push. Jaden Daniels is a star in the making. The offense has playmakers at every level. The defense is fast, aggressive, and built around versatility. Kinlaw doesn't have to be Aaron Donald. He just needs to be consistent. A player who eats up blocks, disrupts lanes, and keeps Washington in third and long situations. If he does that, this signing will look more like a steal than a mistake. So what do you think, Commanders fans? Is Colson Yonkov for real, and could he leapfrog a second-round pick? Is this the year Marshon Lattimore reminds the NFL who he is? Drop your takes in the comments, hit that like button, subscribe to Commanders HQ, and make sure those notifications are on, because we're breaking down every twist and turn leading into training camp. Until next time, Commander up.